The Australian Grand Prix was a banger race and for sure one to remember already in the season. We had many moments in there that are worthy of their own videos, like Kimi Antonelli's brilliant debut, Ferrari doing what they do best, the McLaren rear wing drama part 300, and many more. However, I want to talk about one. Liam Lawson. Now, before you yell at me, yes, I know it's only been quite literally one race. However, please just hear me out, please. I'm not going to speak for like 12 minutes about why Liam is bad or overrated. Rather, I want to speak about all the things that Liam is facing and how it is affecting him. Because make no mistake, the rookie with the most pressure wasn't Kimi or Ollie, it was Liam Lawson. Pile on the facts that Red Bull has been jerking off about him since 2022, he's been here since 2023, has beef with a couple of fandoms linked to hate watching out the gate, and the existence of the one-eyed bastard Helmut Marko, and it is clear, Liam by a country mile has the most pressure, and it's already gotten to him clearly since, yeah, the crash in the race was more due to dry tires on a wet track, but let's not forget he was already trashed since FP1 and even preseason debatingly. So today, I thought we should investigate the factors pressuring Liam and moreover find out if Liam Lawson is being set up for failure. Of course, this video is pure speculation over analyzing really, so this is more of a discussion rather than a video with an objective answer, so be wary of that and feel free to discuss further in the comments below. So as always, join the Discord for good fun and chats and subscribe if you're new if you love dogs. So enough yapping and let us see what is up with Liam. Liam Lawson has been a name Red Bull have thrown around since like 2021. Red Bull have big coins into this guy, citing that he is massively talented and is up next. So let's see if that's true. Liam Lawson won karting and Formula 4s and shit like that, but the real good stuff is Formula 3 and beyond. Liam first competed in F3 in 2019, and to say he was ass is maybe a bit harsh. Yeah, if you just look at the stats, P11 in the standings, no wins, 2 podiums, whatever, man, where's his so-called talent? To give him the benefit of the doubt, MP Motorsport, which was the team he was with at the time, blew harder than your mom last night, and that car absolutely did not deserve 2 podiums that year. He was the highest scoring MP driver that year as well, so he did show glimpses of talent, hence why he got a high-tech drive the following year. High-tech is a much better team, and in a grid stacked with Piastri, Pourchaire, Sargent, who is unfortunately at his peak already, and Vesti, Liam finished 5th in the standings. Albeit the lowest of the names I just mentioned, but the grid was stacked and full of talent, so it's still very impressive. At this point, Red Bull were very happy with Liam, so he obviously got a drive in F2 for 2021, as well as a DTM drive that same year. DTM, if you don't know, is a form of sports car racing, so in other words, completely different from open wheelers. This was a massive test for Liam, and surprisingly, he passed it. He did finish 9th in F2, however, he did win on debut and mainly had reliability issues plaguing him. DTM was where it was at though. Liam not only fought for wins, but for titles too, and the last round of the championship, he was looking set to win it for like 5 seconds maybe, before Kelvin van der Linde decided to fuck him anally and leave him smashed. No matter though, Liam set records in that series, so for the following year, he got a better C in F2 with Carlin and locked in for the title. He still didn't win it, but he did get P3 and many wins and podiums, so still, it's very nice progress. Now for 2023, and he would sign up to be Red Bull's 3rd driver as well as AlphaTauri's 3rd driver. So if something bad were to happen to one of their drivers, like, for example, a driver spinning and crashing into a wall and leaving his hands on the wheel that is known to jerk around violently when colliding with the wall were to break his hand, Liam would be that guy to call. So anyways, coincidentally enough, that exact scenario I painted happened with Daniel Ricciardo after he spun and crashed into a wall and left his hands on the wheel, that is, I'll stop, which means Liam Lawson would replace Danny while his hand was recovering. He would race for 5 races and he did alright. I mean, he didn't exactly shock the world besides in Singapore where he scored points and knocked Max out of Q2. That was kind of legendary, but other than that, he was good enough that people were saying make the move permanent, which totally does not build pressure when Liam does get a permanent drive. Anyways, that same year in 2023, he would compete in Super Formula, which is basically Japanese F1, and here he would also cook. He finished 2nd in the standings, which, yeah, another title was lost, but still, 2nd is great. Liam is great, so 2024 would have to be big for him. Liam was again the 3rd driver for Red Bull and V-Car, meaning that, let's say, for example, a 36-year-old driver who is in denial about his talent was hanging up a seat at the junior team were to finally be fired, Liam would be that guy to replace him. Again, coincidentally enough, that exact scenario happened with Daniel Ricciardo once again, so bam, Liam Lawson is now technically a full-time V-Carb driver for 6 races before his contract is up. he has to cook now. So what does he got? In his first race, he gets P9 after a pretty cool comeback drive that pissed off Alonso, and in Mexico, he pisses off the entire country. Huh. In Mexico, he was fighting with Checo for like P11 or something, and in this fight, he tells him to fuck off and gives each other damage. Now, granted, Checo shouldn't be fighting for 11th, especially in his home race, but Liam certainly didn't do himself any favors with his actions. Anyways, in Brazil, he gets P9 again after some 9/11 tomfoolery happened, and for the remainder of the season, he would not score more points. So all in all, besides pissing off Mexico and the Alonso fandom, plus not to mention the sour Ricardo fans, Liam did pretty good, but dude, 6 races is all he had and he pissed off 3 fandoms. That's kinda more impressive than 4 points, I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, Checo is now fired finally, which means the Red Bull sacrifice is near. The people wanted Yuki to be that driver next to Max since, I mean, he has shown clear growth in the 4 years he's been in the sport and looks to be a solid driver now. However, the Devils at Red Bull chose Liam to replace Checo instead. So yeah, Red Bull chose the guy with 11 races under his belt over the guy with 4 years experience. Huh. Their justification was Liam did what Yuki took 4 years to do in 6 races, which I mean, sure, but like, poor Yuki, no? Anyways, just like that, Liam has now become a Red Bull driver and is ready for 2025, just in time for the FIA to heavily regulate rookie testing in older cars, which means less experience for Liam, schedule the calendar in a way where the first tracks are all completely unfamiliar to rookies, which includes Liam, and for fans to discuss how Liam may fall victim to the second driver curse at Red Bull. Huh. Now let's talk about the real speculative stuff, the stuff that may affect Liam or is already affecting him. Again, final warning, this video isn't seeking an objective answer, rather, this is just my point of view of things and is a discussion. So let's begin. The first thing that may be affecting Liam right now is the ever-threatening and hilariously true saying, the Red Bull second driver curse. Starting in 2018 with Danny Rick, Red Bull have seemingly sacrificed their second driver for Max, and while it has paid off with drivers' titles, I mean, look at these guys. The victims so far are Danny Rick, Pierre Gasly, Alex Albon, Sergio Perez, and now potentially Liam Lawson. Basically, this phenomenon happens because the car is built in such a way for Max's liking that the second driver is completely left by themselves. Albon explains it the best. He states that the car is less uncomfortable, but rather the driver, since they see Max doing all this winning shit and they think, why can't I do that? So in an effort to drive like Max, they enter uncharted territory and are more susceptible to mistakes. Those aren't his words verbatim, however, that is his point, I think. The car is drivable, but they try to copy Max rather than use it to their abilities. Basically, it's overcompensating, and who's to say Liam won't be another victim to this? The second reason as to why Liam is being set up for failure is the fact that so many people hate him for a variety of reasons. I mean, bro, it hasn't even been 2 weekends, yet these memes are everywhere on TikTok and Twitter. First, you have the Checo fans, which is all of Mexico, hating him because of what Liam did. The guy who quite frankly embarrassed Checo on his turf, replaced him, and showed no remorse or even an ounce of caring about the incident. He always justifies his incidents with other drivers as, I'm not here to make friends. Clearly, bro, everybody hates you. Case in point, Alonso fans. Secondly, you have Alonso and his fans. In Coda, mind you, Liam's first race in 2024, he drives like a dick to Alonso, which, if you piss Alonso, which is the dick driver, you know you messed up, dude. Thirdly, you have the Ricardo fans. Now, while Ricardo and Lawson seem like pals, their fans sure aren't. When Liam first took Danny's seat, many Ricardo fans resented him and preyed on his downfall to this day as well. Finally, you have the woke left mob. Do people actually speak like this? Anyways, lots of people, Americans mostly, don't like Liam because of his girlfriend who happens to be a manga person, which leads to people believing Liam is of the same belief. Guess it would explain his disdain for Spanish speakers. Plus, there are so many other people who don't like Liam because of his attitude and things like that, and Liam strikes me as the type of person who is online, so surely he has seen these comments and hate about him, which again, will affect him negatively, obviously. The final speculative reason I want to mention is, what if Red Bull have no faith in him? You might say, really, not having faith in their own driver? Well, it happens way more than you think, especially from the one-eyed bastard. From basically calling Gasly trash to straight up making racist comments about Checo, this guy is the bane of the team. I mean, bro, he literally mocked Hadjar for crying about crashing before lap 1 and called it embarrassing, which, yeah, it kinda is, but bro, that is your driver you're talking about. Is that supposed to make Isaac feel better? What I'm trying to say is, inevitably, and I mean inevitably, Marco will make comments about Liam if he keeps messing up. And I'm talking about public comments, so Lord knows what he said to Liam behind closed doors. And yes, before you mention it, I know Helmet has jerked off to Liam before, but my point still stands. He typically does that too, where he praises a driver at first, then make 2 mistakes, and then boom, he's his punching bag now. And man, just compare that to a team like Mercedes. Total Wolff slurps on Antonelli all the time, even before he was in talks to be an F1. And when Kimi does a mistake like crashing in Monza in FP1 or damaging his floor in the Australia quali, does Toto go on main and say Kimi is stupid or unfocused for the world to hear? No, he says things like they have faith in him, or things like they have his back and will do everything to make him better. When Kimi messes up, Mercedes will pick him back up. When a Red Bull driver messes up, Helmut Marko will kick them down. That is the difference. Plus, there are other teams that do help their drivers, like Haas with Mick or Ollie. The way I see it, Helmut Marko has likely already started affecting Liam's state of mind by either talks behind closed doors, simply knowing he could go to the press and say stupidly unprofessional negative things about his drivers, or perhaps, more likely, both. So, is Liam being set up for failure? Well, I think it's pretty clear he is. He has online presence, which means he likely has seen the hate for him by various fandoms and the Red Bull second driver curse stuff. He has Helmut Marko as an advisor who advises his drivers to kill themselves, and he was affected by the FIA's new rule regulating practice on older cars. Basically, absolutely nothing is going his way right now, and this is bad. You have to be a really optimistic person to think that Liam can just blow through it all and come back this week. The reality is, Liam is too far gone, and these factors likely follow him in his thoughts, and the amount of factors is only going to prolong the effects of the stress and pressure. Liam is likely very stressed right now, since not only is his teammate, the Max Verstappen, not only is his team run by an old racist man and a sex offender, not only is he hated for a lot of things that are quite frankly over-exaggerated, but he has already failed big in Australia with the Q1 elimination and crash. This sort of stress and pressure will not go away even if he thinks it does, since stress is the most hidden thing in our brains. Personally, I wish Liam the best, since while I may not be a fan of him or anything he does really, I still don't want to see him suffer the same fate of every single Red Bull driver not named Max Verstappen since 2018. But unfortunately, it seems pretty inevitable already that will be the case. Or maybe he takes a page out of Max's playbook of how not to fall under stress or pressure and be the best he can be, and Liam doesn't fall under pressure anymore and cooks from China onwards, and if that does happen, well, at least yapping is fun. Oh, and of course, just because he's being set up for failure doesn't mean he can't overcome it. He could overcome the stress with time and start focusing on himself and his perception instead of comparing it to Max like Albon thinks, or comparing it to straight up just non-existent factors. Just because things are bad now doesn't mean they will stay bad forever. So here's to Liam proving everyone wrong in 2025. So that was my thoughts on Liam Lawson and if he's being set up for failure. All I'm gonna say is, let's hope I'm wrong about Liam and Red Bull can once again be a serious team in this sport. Anyways, I want to give a quick shout out to all members of the flock for their continued support, and make sure to join it if you want cool benefits as well as just helping me out. Anyways, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe since it really helps me out, and make sure to let me know in the comments what you think of this. And as always, have an amazing day.
Good weather for the duck.